All right, hello and welcome. I'm Ingrid Tague, the Associate Dean of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences here at the University of Denver. So today in the webinar, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what subjects are covered by our college. I'm going to walk you through some typical schedules and I'll address some common questions. And then after the presentation, there will be time for you to ask questions and we'll address those as they come in. So, who are we? As Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, those are our three big categories. First of all, arts, which most of our majors in Arts, Humanities, and in the arts are music. We have a variety of majors along with studio art and theater. We also have the humanities. Those are predominantly languages and literatures, including English, but also non-English languages and literatures, philosophy, history, religion, those kinds of things. And then social sciences, those are things like economics, communication and media, sociology, anthropology. All told, we are 2,000 undergraduates, 250 faculty, and we offer 41 undergraduate degrees. So we are the biggest and most diverse academic unit on campus. And there are lots of ways in which we work together and learn from each other. We really think of ourselves as the heart of the liberal arts on campus. And what we all have in common is an interest in the study of people. We're interested in why people do what they do and how they do what they do. And I'll just note here also that the liberal arts are a wonderful preparation for your future career. So, what does this mean for figuring out your schedule in the fall? The most important thing that I want you to take away from this is that you really can't go wrong. It is basically impossible to screw this up. So explore your options, think about what seems cool, try stuff out, and you'll be fine. So one of the other webinars talked about common curriculum, and we teach an awful lot of the common curriculum courses in our college, especially Analytical Inquiry, Society and Culture, Scientific Inquiry, Society and Culture, and the foreign language classes. Now, the vast majority of the Analytical Society and Culture and Scientific Inquiry, Society and Culture courses count toward the major and minor as well, and we'll get into that in a second. So this is a generic sample schedule for pretty much anyone interested in arts, humanities, or social sciences. So you'll see there's the first year seminar, the FSEM, that everyone takes in their first quarter no matter what their major is. Here we've got an Analytical Inquiry, Society and Culture course. That would be a course in the humanities, an option of either foreign language or scientific inquiry, the natural and physical worlds. That would be a science class. And then an elective, which is basically any fun course that sounds cool or interesting. So here's another generic schedule. This one, again, first year seminar, we see foreign language and scientific inquiry, the natural and physical world. These would both potentially be year-long sequences. And then for your fourth course, if you know what you want to major or minor in, you could take a course there, or again, you could just take an elective. So here we'll get into some sample schedules for potential majors, just to give you a sense of what kinds of things someone might do. So this one first is for the history major. And again, you'll see we start with the first year seminar. In this case, the student is taking Scientific Inquiry, Society and Culture. So that would be a social sciences class. The natural and physical world scientific inquiry is the science sequence, what we call the sort of regular or hard sciences. And then here the student is taking a History 1000 level class. That counts for both the history major and common curriculum. It counts for Analytical Inquiry, Society and Culture. Here we have another sample schedule. This would be for a psychology major. Again, everyone takes the first year seminar. Here the person is taking Analytical Inquiry, Society and Culture, a foreign language, and then Psych 1001, the Foundations of Psychological Science. And that counts for Scientific Inquiry, Society and Culture. So again, that's taking care of both the major and one of the common curriculum requirements. And then finally, we have a film studies and production major example with FSEM. Here the person is taking Analytical Inquiry, the Natural and Physical World, which would be math classes, a foreign language, and then MFJS 2000, the Intro to Film Criticism, which also counts for common curriculum. So again, here the intro course counts for both the major and common curriculum. And you'll see there's a variety of different kinds of common curriculum courses built into that, but that doesn't mean that you need to take any one of those common curriculum courses just because you happen to be a film studies major. These are just sample schedules. And really the most important thing to remember is that you don't have to take anything first quarter. If you take nothing at all fall quarter related to your planned major or minor, you will still be just fine. You will be on course to graduate. There will be absolutely no problem. There are a whole lot of really cool courses out there, a lot of them in areas not even offered in high school, so things you probably haven't even had a chance to take a class in. So I'd really encourage you to think about taking something new and different. If it ends up counting for common curriculum, that's great. If it doesn't count for common curriculum, that's great too. You've just taken a cool elective and had a nice opportunity to learn something new. In general, you are fine taking almost any 1,000 or 2,000 level course in arts, humanities, or social sciences. If the course has prerequisites, you'll be locked out of it, so you don't need to worry about signing up for a course that you shouldn't be taking because of prereqs. And then my other big recommendation is probably to avoid 3,000 level classes. Those really are for more advanced students and are usually for students in the major. But if you think about 1,000s and 2,000s, and when in doubt, look for 1,000s, you should be in just fine shape. So if you've seen other webinars, you may have seen this slide before, which shows the general breakdown of the total credits for your major. And I'm showing this to you here mostly to point out that a third of your courses can be electives. They all still count toward graduation. You need 183 credits to graduate. So as I said, even if you end up taking nothing but electives in your first quarter, they will still count toward graduation. You will still be on track to graduate. So you really can't go wrong choosing your schedule. Now there are a few exceptions to keep in mind. One, if you are a music major, there is a whole separate webinar for music majors, and you definitely want to watch that. There are specific courses that are required for students who are majoring in music. So again, check out that webinar if you haven't done so already. If you are doing a BFA in art, then the art program really recommends that you take one of the Introduction to Studio Arts courses. And again, details about that are available through the search function where you can look for your major. They generally recommend a nice mix throughout your undergraduate career of studio art courses plus more academic courses every quarter, so you aren't just trying to take all studio all at the same time. And finally, if you are double majoring in science, then you definitely want to check out their webinar and prioritize the requirements for your science major. Their requirements are more regimented than ours. They need to be taken in a particular order, and so we really strongly recommend that when you're planning your schedule, you plan for your major in the sciences first, and then you can build out your schedule with your second major in our area around that. All right, so now some what-if questions, frequently asked questions for people who are thinking about this major. So one of the big questions we see is, can I double major? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Many of our students double major. It is incredibly common for students in arts, humanities, and social sciences to double major. Many of them will even combine 2 majors and 2 minors. Our requirements say that you can either double major or do a major and a minor, but we also can have students who double major and add a minor, or some even double major and double minor. Again, lots of room in the curriculum for you to take advantage of that if you want to do that. If you are in a special program like the Honors Program, the Pioneer Leadership Program, or the Living and Learning Community, again, there's no problem. You can work your schedule around whatever their requirements might be for the start of fall quarter and for the rest of the year. There's a special spot on the website in the first quarter advising tab under course considerations. And you can see that they've got areas for the Honors Program, the LLCs, and Pioneer Leadership Program. So just check out those and you can sign up for what you need and then build your schedule around any courses that you need to take there. If you have AP or IB credit, that will transfer in automatically and will show up with the appropriate common curriculum credit. For majors that accept AP or IB credit, it will also show up automatically in your major area. So if you've declared a major in history or political science, for example, then that will transfer in and will show up as completing the appropriate requirement. Again, if you want more information about transfer and AP or IB credit, there's a special tab on the new student registration site, and you can check that out and find out exactly what counts for what and what scores you need in order to transfer the credit in. If you're interested in minoring or double majoring in business, again, that is a common choice for many of our students. Again, the basic message here is no problem. Go ahead and do that. If you're looking for a course that might be a useful one to think about taking either fall quarter or at another time in your first year, we recommend Business 1440, the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And if you're interested in that double major in business, then again, we recommend that you take out their webinar to see what they have to recommend for signing up. And again, if you are double majoring with business and you've already determined that you're doing that program, then you want to prioritize their schedule over ours. So what if the class that you want to take is full? Again, don't panic, everything will be fine. Whatever the requirement is, you can take it later. Again, if you are an arts, humanities, or social sciences student, there is no course you have to take fall quarter in order to be on track to graduate. You can just take it during another quarter. Just sign up for something else that looks cool or interesting to you, and you will be absolutely fine. We always recommend our students thinking about what kinds of options might be exciting or interesting to them, especially if they're areas that they haven't had a chance to take a course before. These are chances to find really cool new professors, to discover new topics. Many of our students discover new minors or majors by taking what they think is going to be an elective and then discovering they actually have a passion for that topic, and they take a bunch more courses, and the next thing they know, they've got a minor or a major under their belt. So again, don't panic if the class is full. If it's something you need for your major, you will be able to take it at another time, we promise. The other thing we really want you to keep in mind is the only thing you need to worry about right now is fall quarter registration. You don't need to worry about planning out the rest of your academic career right now. We really do want you just to focus on fall quarter. But if you do want more information on the requirements for your major right now, the undergraduate bulletin lists all of the requirements for every major and minor. We'll also be holding college receptions during Discoveries Week, which will be broken out into individual majors. That will give you a chance to meet a faculty advisor for your major and a chance to hear more from that person about the requirements for the major and minor. You can find out about what the goals of the major are and talk a little bit about planning for winter and spring quarter, as well as, again, having a chance to meet with a real life faculty member in that area. So again, if you're concerned that you need more information about the major, you'll be able to get that in person during Discoveries Week. And it's very easy. If you haven't declared the major, but you want to do so, it will be very easy for you to do that either now or after you get to campus. So there should be no problem trying to make sure that you've got your major requirements under your belt. If you are worried about getting a job after graduation, and this is something we sometimes hear from liberal arts majors, is they're concerned about employment. We have career services on campus, and you can talk now or at any time with the folks from career services. We have 2 dedicated experts focused specifically on the career paths of arts, humanities, and social sciences majors, Carolyn Summers and Kyle Inselman. And again, the liberal arts is actually excellent training for your career. It provides you the skills that employers are looking for and ends up providing exciting pathways for the careers that have not yet been invented, which are the ones you're likely to be doing in 20 years. All right, so that completes our presentation, and we have time now for questions. If you have a question that's very personal or very specific to your own student, we do recommend that you contact academic advising after this webinar, but we do have time for questions now.
So the first question is, what about the math requirement? Will I need to take calculus?
You do not need to take calculus specifically for the math requirement. If you want more information about the common curriculum requirements in general, there is a webinar on common curriculum that you can watch. But basically there are a variety of options. Some of our students, depending upon the major, are required to take calculus, but not all of them. And by and large, for most majors in arts, humanities, and social sciences, calculus is not required. All right, if that's it and there are no other questions, then thank you all very much. And
Oh, that's a.
oh, am I still on? Okay. All right, other questions. Are any classes required for all students across this academy? The classes that are required for all students across this academy are only the common curriculum requirements. Those are the only requirements for all students, and those are not specific classes. So in every category, there are multiple options for students depending upon what they are interested in taking. So there isn't any one single course that absolutely every student needs to take. Can you see which AP classes have been accepted? Yes, that will appear automatically on your degree audit when you come in. And again, for further information about your AP or IB transfer classes, if you go to that spot that we mentioned on the website, you can find out all of the details about how to track what you've taken and what will count. Are there prerequisites for film production minor? There are courses that are required for the film production minor. Again, for all of the details on that, you can check out the undergraduate bulletin link, which will tell you what specifically is required for the minor. But the minors in general are much more flexible than the majors. They generally don't have a lot of very specific requirements, and so they're a nice option for a student who just wants to take several classes within a given area. So what are the popular double majors with a journalism major? Numbers of students combine that with political science, especially for people who are interested in the news and politics side of things. English is another popular double major. Anthropology, since it really helps to know something about humans when you are interested in journalism. But in general, again, they work well with a wide variety of different kinds of fields. Can you double minor? Yes, absolutely. That is very common. Minors run usually 20 to 24 credits. So they're about half the number of credits required for a major. They are very easy to do, and they tend to be very flexible in their requirements. So many students do that in our college. If you are an undecided major, are you in the College of Arts and Sciences? If you have said that you want to major in arts, humanities, or social sciences, but you aren't sure what major specifically you want to do, then you will be listed as an undeclared major in our college. If you've just said you have no idea what you want to do, then you aren't listed with any particular college. But it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Whatever you end up majoring in, you'll just get slotted into the college at the time that you declare your major. And finally, are there classes that overlap with the common curriculum and with electives? Many students do end up taking common curriculum classes as electives just because they are geared toward people who are not majors or minors. They're open to everyone, and they tend to be on interesting topics taught by interesting people. Is there a chance to talk to our advisors before class registration? Yes, that last screen connected you with academic advising, and also your first year seminar instructor is going to be your primary academic advisor during the year, and you will connect with that person usually at some point over the summer. Are there classes that are only for certain majors? Yes, some majors do have restrictions on who can take those classes. Those are usually the more advanced classes within the major, and so there's an expectation that students are familiar with the field, and so those courses will be restricted. What that means is that then if you haven't declared that major, you actually will be blocked from enrolling in that class, so you don't need to worry about accidentally taking a class that is restricted to a particular major. How many students are typically in each class during the first year? That varies. Our largest classes in the common curriculum are capped at 100 students, so you won't be in any class larger than 100. The FSEM, the first year seminar, is a seminar, and so that will be significantly smaller. And then the intro classes in our area in Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, the common curriculum classes usually run around 30 to 35 students. There are some exceptions in the social sciences where they can run 60 and sometimes 100 in psychology, but most of them are fairly small. What is the difference between a seminar and a lecture? So lecture is a generic format that we use to describe a course. It really doesn't mean anything if you see it in the course catalog as the format of the course. We generally distinguish between lectures and seminars, broadly speaking, in that seminars tend to be small classes, 20 or fewer students, where there's a strong focus on student discussion, engagement, and interaction. As the classes get larger, there's less of that conversation and discussion. But most of our classes involve some mix of the faculty member speaking and the students engaging with the faculty member and with each other. Do some students only take common curriculum classes during their entire first year? Yes, that certainly happens. Usually by students' second or third quarter, they're starting to figure out what they are thinking that they want to major or minor in, and so they've started taking other classes. But we do have some students who only take common curriculum classes in their first year.
That's yours.
Can students join an LLC, honors, or PLP after their first year? For
information about the, typically not, they join during the first year, but for more information on the different living learning communities, you can go on the new student registration website or email advising@du.edu specifically if you have a particular question, and we'll get you connected to the right people.
Can I take 2 different languages? Yes, absolutely. First year languages are open to anyone who wishes to enroll in them. If you are familiar with one language, say you've been taking Spanish in high school and Chinese wasn't offered and you decided you really want to start Chinese, you're welcome to continue Spanish and also take Chinese. That is entirely up to you and what your interests are. Any other questions? All right, if you don't have any other questions about fall quarter course selection and registration, then we will see you all at Discoveries. Have a great summer.